This is the Deathbringer Saurfang event in Icecrown Citadel 10-man. At the beginning of the fight, you'll have an RP event between Saurfang and his risen son. Arthas has taken Saurfang the Younger and turned him into a Death Knight, which is whom you're fighting in this fight. I'll explain a little bit about Saurfang. The key to this fight is to limit how much blood power Saurfang actually generates, and he'll gain this power with his special abilities when they hit or tick. And when he reaches 100, he will cast Mark of the Fallen Champion, which increases the rate at which he will gain the blood power. Mark of the Fallen Champion takes a lot of healing, and it is actually usually much better to just allow the player to die if they aren't a tank. If they do die, Saurfang does get healed, but it is much easier to overcome his healed percentage than worry about having multiple Marks of the Fallen Champion up, because that will usually result in a wipe. Saurfang will also leech health when he performs melee attacks on targets marked with a rune of blood. This will happen on your tanks. Usually there's 2, and this rune of blood will last for 20 seconds. So you want to make sure that your tanks are speaking on vent and they get a nice rotation going. The other thing, he'll spawn blood beasts. They come every 35 seconds. You'll get 2 in 10-man and 5 in 25-man. They are immune to AoEs, so you do have to focus fire them. They cannot be CC'd, but they can be root snared or stunned, so having frost traps and entangling roots and pretty much anything to kind of slow them down will help. You need to kite them. Keep absolutely away from them. They would do a lot of damage. Also, kind of another thing that happens in the fight, he will use boiling blood. Now this does a certain amount of tick damage, and it is best to kind of help mitigate that. When it ticks, he will get blood power, which is what I explained before. So using Power Word Shield, Ice Block, Divine Shield, things like that will help stop the ticking. You want to make sure you put a couple hots on the people marked with boiling blood. But the great thing is that having a Discipline Priest in your raid, or a Paladin Healer, or having even mages in there, is that with the stopping of the ticking, he doesn't gain. So if you have a Discipline Priest, usually the best thing to do is have their priority worry about putting Power Word Shield on the people that do get boiling blood. Another thing about boiling blood is that you need to make sure that you are 11 yards apart or greater in a raid, because the boiling blood can bounce from player to player. So if you have DBM, you need to type /range 11. This is very easy to do in 10-man because there's a lot of space to maneuver yourself and to keep away from others. In 25-man, this is much more difficult because the platform doesn't obviously get wider. So in order to make sure that you don't spread the boiling blood, usually you have 2 people stack on top of each other. And this makes it much, much more easier to deal with. And like I said, every 35 seconds you do have the blood beasts. They're a main priority once they do spawn. But other than that, you need to watch for your boiling blood. That is also a high priority. And when you have someone with Mark of the Fallen Champion, like I said before, it is best to let them die, unless it's a tank. At 30%, he does have a frenzy stage, so blowing cooldowns and getting him down as quickly as possible is your best bet. Other than that, that's pretty much the fight. There's about a minute or so left of this video, so please feel free to watch, and thanks so much for watching.